live now. Okay. So we're good. It's on ultra low latency. So, pretty much just start off with how you felt about the show and talk about all the details. Really, really like tell it like a diary. Just recapping your day and like I just talked about everything that I did.
Like leading up to it.
Yeah.
All right. Yo, it's your main man, Rodeo Joe. Gonna recap the first show we had this year, making it big. This is episode 58, I believe. Episode 58. Troy just stepped out, do some daddy duty type shit. But I'm gonna kind of give you a recap of the day. So, normally on show days, if anytime I perform personally, if I don't have to do a goddamn thing, I don't want to do a goddamn thing but just rest until it's showtime. Now, if I have to do other shit, cool. But so I was able to rest. I was actually able to rest and chill all the way up to showtime. I had a long last month or so, really, with the studying for a certification for something I'm taking in tech, and then like I run a business and things like that. So it's just been a lot of just cramming. So I was happy that Sunday. I was off Monday, so Sunday I just used that day to I'm gonna focus all my energy on the show. And I'm not gonna do a goddamn thing when I wake up. So I woke up. I wake up pretty early, so I went and just got up. I watched some. I frequently just watch interviews of old bands and stuff, and documentaries of old bands and of people I like. I was watching that one. I kind of watched. Watched the Parliament one I already watched. So kind of like a comfort documentary. I don't know. I watched a Parliament documentary. And then I made some breakfast. And then by all that time, I was ready to meet up with the rest of the band to get going. All my stuff was already over here at the studio, so that was cool. I didn't have to pack up anything really. Came through here, packed up, put our stuff in the escape. Big Bertha, packed up and put it in the escape, along with the rest of Troy's stuff, and we headed out to Warehouse Live. We had to make like 3 trips to carry the shit, but I think that shit woke me up a little bit. It kind of got me up. And this is just all, I guess, from my perspective from the show, not so, lugging all this shit up there, setting up the stuff, being up on the stage with all the like rappers. It was a bunch of rappers. It was only like really 2 bands that performed. And we were one of them, and it was just a bunch of rappers. So they wanted to get their sound check in just so they can hear, I don't know, hear how they sound. I don't know, man. I don't really feel like you have to do much sound checking when all you do is rap. You should just show up, and if you're not loud enough, turn them up. So most of the time should be given to the instrumentalists. However, we got up there and did our shit in like 8 minutes. Initially, I wasn't nervous, but I had some I was like, oh, okay, shit, I haven't been up here in a while. I sat down and was like, oh shit, we're about to go live soon. Got our shit together, set up our stuff, and then we found a cool place to chill upstairs where nobody was, and just kind of watched the other acts. We met this guy named Too Crunk for Jesus. He's a Christian rapper. He was very supportive. He wanted to use us as props for pictures, mainly Troy, because Troy had a cool look with the guitar, and Troy looks like Jimi Hendrix's son or some shit like that, Looks like Jimi Hendrix Jr. in this bitch. Um, so he got some pictures, you know, at first, but that was cool. You know, the guy he went on before us and he prayed. He prayed for the whole show and all the acts coming up there. So that was cool. And he performed this one song, and then a few acts that were supposed to be after him didn't show up. So we were next. So we got up there and we were able to just kind of. By the time I got up there and sat down, any nerves that I might have had went away. I don't know why. You know, they just went away. And now the inner ears that we had, we got to flesh that out for the next show. So they were kind of loud. So I ended up having to take my inner ears out after the first song because I couldn't really hear. And I'm so used to playing in an old band and having no inner ears that I just was like, you know, I'm just going to raw dog the stage sound and the sound. So I think the show went really well, especially because we hadn't performed since last year. Was it around this time? No, it was earlier in like January, maybe February. So a little bit longer than a year. We hadn't performed in a while, so I thought it was even better than the last one as far as how it went. Troy did an amazing job, you know. He did an excellent job, and it's considering that he was trying to they were trying to, you know, get his guitar sounding right in the first couple of songs, you know. The sound men were awesome. I can't. I'd be messed up if I didn't give a shout out to the sound men who were for Warehouse Live. I don't know who all the crew, but whoever those guys we worked with were excellent. Very calm, very patient. Anything we needed, they would do. They were very cool, very chill, no stress. But the show went well, man. The sets went well. Once it got going, it really just flowed really well. Troy did a good job of talking to the crowd, and I even said a few things. Big Mama did a really good job. This was our first time performing with Big Mama, and she did a great job too. It was just us three. I was on piano, Troy was on guitar, Big Mama was on the djembe, you know. She held it down without a whole drummer with a kit. She did the djembe, which was a cool element. This was the first time I've ever done a song that I wrote of my own solo music ever. I've written a bunch of songs with my previous band, and you know, whatever we came up with, whatever I produced or we produced together and wrote, I performed those. But I've had solo projects, and this was the first time I've ever performed a song from a solo project. It was from 1-800-FUNK, Funky Feeling. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was really great. It really felt liberating. I really felt like, you know, I could do this, like, you know. And it just made me have even more respect for, like, Troy and artists who have already been solo artists, and they just come up there and they just do fucking 12 songs of their material. You know, I did one song and like, whew, you know, got through my one song. It's like, if you're a solo artist, you'd have had to do 12 songs, which was Troy. Most of the music was Troy's music, and he was the lead vocal for everything outside of the song that I did. So, you know, it was inspiring to watch him. Not that I haven't seen him do that again, but it's just like after performing my own song, it's just seeing him perform all those songs. I'm like, oh, dang, I could only imagine if I had to do 8 or 9 more songs and lead sing and play, you know. So it just felt good having him as a teammate, a bandmate, whatever you want to call it, brother. But the sets went well, man. And then even the guy after us was a DJ, and Troy knows the DJ, and the DJ, even because of their relationship, gave Troy part of his set to do another song that he likes that Troy does. So that was cool. And then just being able to, you know, the Flower Fest, we didn't stay for the entire time. We stayed there for a significant amount of time, but, you know, I feel like they were competing with a lot of things, mainly with Easter, 420 being on Easter. So, you know, they probably should have did it on. It's a 420 fest, but it just happened to fall on Easter, so you know you probably don't get as many people. Uh, it you know, some of the crowd might have been diverted, but they still had a nice amount of people. There weren't people there on the riffraff. People were showing love. I really like how the artists were all positive towards one another. We met this group of girls, female MCs named Mother Nature. They were really cool. We actually saw them at the movies yesterday. Saw Sinners. Sinners was pretty decent. That was cool. We saw. I met a girl named Mecca when I DJ'd the day before. So I also DJ'd the day before at the 30th anniversary of the National Black United Front, the Black House, where they literally turned a crack house in a community, shut it down, and turned it into it's called the Black House, which supports the community surrounding, the black community surrounding, and they've just from it burning, it burning down to rebuilding it, and you know all the things that it's done for the community, you know, and it's been like the second or third gig I've done with them, and it's like I almost feel like a resident DJ for them, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, I met this chick named Mecca, this artist named Mecca, who performed a song at the Black House, and she happened to be a background singer for B Honey, a girl named B Honey, and they were really good. B Honey, Mecca was a background singer. B Honey was the lead singer. Mecca was a background singer, and a woman we know named Danny. She did a good job, and I met a keyboardist. He was dope. His name is Brandon. He was on the Double Nords, and they had, I forget the drummer's name. I'm sorry. If he ever sees this, I'm sorry I forgot your name, bro. Hope you got to smoke a little bit afterwards. He said he hadn't smoked in a while and was looking forward to smoking after his set, so he did a good job. I hope he lit that up. But yeah, after our set, you know, I felt really good about it. We just went right through the songs, you know, and it went well. And a lot of people gave us really good feedback. A lot of people were coming up to me, you know, coming up to Troy, just talking to, you know, I didn't talk to Big Mama as much as about how many people came up to her, but I just know people were coming up to us and talking about how different we were. And I really love that, because I think that our style is really like a gumbo and really like a Swiss Army knife. We could just do funky shit. We could do rock. We could do reggae. We can do country. So we did a little bit of everything. We gave you a nice little smorgasbord, you know, of different types of eclectic styles. And people noticed that and were just like, man, y'all were definitely just different. And there was a lady named V who works for the Forward Times, and she interviewed us. Hopefully that interview makes it in the Forward Times. That'd be cool. But she was nice enough to interview us in our first performance together as Voeo. And she was very sweet lady, very petite, meek like lady. She might have a bigger personality than I think, so let me not. But she was just very nice and asked us really cool questions. And you know, to get chosen to get interviewed after your first show together was big, you know, and I just think it says a lot about who we are and the type of music and the energy we bring. It's different. It's just different, and it leads you to want to find out who we are, more about us, and how do these guys know these music, and what's the inspiration behind their music, because it's not like we're just doing your R&B. We're doing rock songs, we're doing liberation songs, we're doing funk, we're doing all kinds of stuff. So that was really cool. That we got that interview, and I just feel like we got really good love. And I'm gonna shout out Troy again. He does such a good job of networking. It's just funny seeing someone in there. It's just like a switch comes off, and the dude's just like he just, when there's an opportunity, he's on it. You know, it's just like, oh damn, bro's on it. You know, it's like It's like I need to be better at that too. You know what I'm saying?
I thought I did a bad job
Of networking.
at no point in time.
You sound crazy.
Listen,
I'm not gonna let you do this.
Okay,
Sometimes you
okay,
do this.
listen,
I'm not gonna let you downplay
I
this.
think
This is my portion. I am not gonna let Mr. Leonardo come and downplay me giving him some props.
That is so.
You didn't have to. I didn't have to say this, and you didn't have to down it. I just really like how he. He would hate that I would say this, but it did kind of remind me of Mr. Curiosity. You know,
really?
in a sense of like that's one of his strengths was just like connecting with people.
Oh wow.
And as good as I am with connecting with people, sometimes I can be mysterious at times, I guess, or you know. But as soon as the opportunity presents itself, I turn it on, and I play the part. But I just him looking and being more open to like knowing that like, or maybe he just doesn't know organically he's doing this. This is what you need to grow. Like you have to show love to everybody because they'll remember you, and these people will speak up on you. And that's what's happened when like I was saying in the like when I was in the old band. It's like you don't realize you being that positive with people is what gets you to do other shows. Like they'll remember you. Oh yeah, you never know who knows who, and it's just like, oh yeah, put them on there. We like them. Or yeah, let's do this with them. Cause you were just really positive. You went out your way just to say something kind to someone.
Yeah, just going out of my way. I mean, I think that's one thing that I have a strong suit for.
You do.
Is talking to people. One thing I'm horrible at
is
during the shows, I didn't introduce us. I didn't say everybody's name, where you can find us. I didn't say nothing about no music coming out. Didn't say nothing about no merchandise. Didn't get nobody to our Instagrams. Didn't get nobody to Facebook,
but
YouTube.
To be fair, in my experiences with stuff like that, we used to rehearse that part, so we didn't forget it.
And I think the part of it is
like literally rehearse it, so you know. Oh, you'll be like, oh, it's on your mind.
To
Let
me,
shot
it's
it.
super cringe.
To do that.
Like, hi, we're Voeo, and we want you to download our platforms, and we're on all streaming, and everybody says
cringe,
the same
though.
thing. I think it's super cringe.
Think about your boy, who your wife loves, LaRussell. That nigga is.
Yeah.
We gotta. That's the name of the game now, bro.
Yeah. You
can't
gotta tell people what you expect from them.
Yeah. And what if there was a bunch of people that wanted the guy Too Crump for Jesus? Were you right there when he was telling us like what his sons were saying? Or I guess those were his sons or whoever he was with. He was like, man, y'all were so different. They were just so different. And I talked about that. If you ever run back what I talked about.
That's why I needed to be here. So
yeah, but it'd be cool. You could watch it later. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What we bring is different.
Yeah.
It's like off the menu, or it's like a sampler too. Because a lot of times it's like, all right, if you could equate all the bands to entrees from Chili.
Yes.
We would be the shit that everybody get. The Southwestern egg roll. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody really wants. The wings. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you could get this, but your favorite shit was that sampler.
Yeah.
Because you got to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And like,
it's just so intriguing to all your taste buds. Like, at no point did you say, it would have been nice to have something spicy. Well, you got the hot wings.
You got the hot wings.
It'd be nice to have something savory. You got the egg rolls.
And maybe you didn't want the hot wings, but you like, okay, I tried it. That was different.
Yeah, it wasn't. It satiates that need. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm missing a little bit of percussion. Oh, we got a djembe though.
You got a djembe
So
though.
you got like the original.
That's what I talked about.
Of, and I didn't even talk
Sinners.
About that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Nah, but I you'll see. I talked about like I gave a little run up of how like my day went prior.
Me too.
The last couple weeks in general, just like how I've really been cramming a lot of shit in my brain, trying to pass a test while this is going on, and then all of a sudden I had a DJ. Right. But I said normally when I have a show, if I don't have to do a motherfucking thing on that show day, I don't want to do anything.
Yes, I want to be like an NFL player.
I want to just chill until the fucking time is to come. I want to be thinking about the set. I want to be thinking about every type of food outlet in my body. Mm-hmm. I'm very conscientious about what I'm listening to. That's why I told him I watched a comfort documentary. I watched something on Parliament that just had me like, yeah, this is cool. I had a decent breakfast, but I also talked about like, I guess I'm talking about it, but I talked about how.
I already talked about it on episode 2, so I mean we can go.
But I mean, what I'm about to say now is just like, once I got to talking about everything and like, and then eventually I started talking about like, this is the first time I ever got to play a song that I've ever done.
Oh wow, that's
solo.
crazy.
Like I've never performed a song of
That
mine
is so
ever. That's solo
crazy.
ever because like I
so
was in a
crazy.
band, so it was crazy. And then it just in that moment you don't even realize. And I guess I can tell you now that you still watch, you'll hear it again, but it really like showed me, it inspired me. You inspired me.
Awesome.
And anybody that's a solo artist,
Yeah.
because I'm like, damn, I did one song, but a solo artist got to do like 8 or 9 more of they shits. So I'm like, ooh, got through that. But I'm like, oh shit, if I was a solo artist, I'm still up here.
Yes. Yes.
Everything is on you, nigga.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was just like, oh shit, if I had another song, I'd have had to go right into another joint. And just to have you, it just showed me like how much time you put in playing your shit
To be able to do it.
to be able to go through it. And like, it's not easy, even just like, you're not every day playing your shit every fucking day. So to get up there and still, just like when that DJ was like, play this song, you hadn't played that bitch, but you remembered it for the most part.
Right.
And like, you got through that shit. It's just like, because it's like a
Put
muscle
in the
memory.
hours.
You put in the hours, and it's
Yeah.
muscle memory, and it's showing me like, oh, you're gonna have to put in some hours. That's why I was trying to tell you, like, I still want to be able to eventually do some type of solo shows, because I have to be able to get another. It's just another level of confidence you'll get from it.
Bro, I think it'll be cool, like, if we section our stuff up, like, Speaker Box and Love Below, to where it's like, we can give you everybody.
We could do a show,
thing.
and it'd be like, Joe said, Troy said, did shit together, and we
That's what I'm
performed it
saying.
like 3 times.
Exactly.
You play on my shit, but I'm playing. Then we break. Then come play your shit.
Right.
And then come play the shit. Whoa!
It's like we open up for the
each
band.
other. Yeah. Oh, that's
Both
dope.
of us are opening for
that's
the band.
sick. How sick? But it was, and our music is
that different?
Is that different though? Where we could do that.
And it would be interesting.
It would
like,
be so
I think
interesting.
people would really enjoy it. Like,
Yes.
it's super fucking vibey.
Super fucking vibey.
So it's just like, I think that that's part of what is so cool about this whole process, is just like seeing how we all responded in the wild.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that all of us responded in a way to where we were uplifting, we were all positive, and we all stayed out of each other's way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what is going on, you know, on the day of the show, we were all copacetic.
And we will, because that really was our first time performing together on like a stage that was like, because a bigger stage. Whether the crowd was packed or not, literally the stage was big. It's a different feeling when you're on a bigger stage, because it just feels
different.
It's not as intimate. It feels like there's a lot going on. You could be playing and look left, and people are walking out, coming in.
For all that we're saying, there was still every bit of like 75 to 100 people in there.
Oh yeah.
Still, like, they were spread out, but there was still a lot of people.
And when we played, people came up because they were like, "Oh shit."
Because it started off with like 4 people up there.
And it ended up
And then
being
people
like
just started
20-some
walking, and
people.
were nodding their heads and they were dancing. There was one girl, she was dancing on her dude and shit. I was like, oh, okay, y'all fuck with this.
Right. You could see, like, from my angle, I could see one of the security guys.
Oh, yeah?
And he could tell, he looked over, he was just like, all right.
And the sound guy, he was saying how much he liked it.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
were. I could directly see them, like, they were really fucking with the Walking on the Moon too.
Oh, okay.
I didn't always look, but I just know when I looked over there.
I'm happy we put Walking in the Moon so deep in the set.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was a nice change up, and it was something that was perfect.
It was
for
perfect.
the time and the location.
Yeah.
And it was like a stoner vibe without being a stoner vibe, and I could tell people wanted more.
Yeah.
They wanted more of that Jamaican shit.
So
like,
maybe we write another song.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I was doing
on
that
some
other
Jamaican
song, I was
shit.
thinking like maybe I should just go straight into Life Without Music and see if y'all jump in. But I was like, I'm not gonna throw them.
I mean, hey, I would have been with it, regardless, you know. But yeah, and then once the show ended, I kind of when you walked in, I was kind of talking about how people were coming up to both of us and saying things, and like clearly they're gonna definitely walk up to you more because you have this head dress on. You were singing, you were right in the front, so it's just like it's easy to pick you out, and like. People were coming up and saying shit, bro. People were coming up and saying shit to me. And I was just like, oh, damn. And, like, sometimes you just don't. You be like, okay, they could just be saying it. But even if they could just be saying it, they ain't have to say nothing at all. You feel what I'm saying?
Because a lot of shows, you'll realize, at a lot of shows, people will not even say anything. You might tear the house down, and you'll see the people in the audience jumping around, but those same people will not come up to you and say a single word. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is sometimes. So when people come up and say something to you, I was talking to my parents about it once, and then my dad was like, he was saying he thinks, like, he was reading something or saw something that said that those are supposed to be like angels letting God speak through them whenever they come up to you and talk to you in
probably
situations
affirming
like
you.
that. And I feel like it might be. Because the feeling that you get when you hear it is like, no, never, not me. Like when people tell you did a great job, you're like, shh.
And that's
you know what I'm saying?
That kind of imposter syndrome feeling. Like,
it's like God telling you you're the chosen one, and you be like,
no, I'm not. But I really feel like we need to just lean into that shit more, so that momentum.
And that's why I was talking so long to that photographer in the white. The girl
who came backstage
in the front, yeah, and she was up in front and all that stuff, taking pictures. Cause she gave me such good energy when I say like the way she was talking, like when she was like, yeah, you remind me of the Eagles and
that's
somebody
fucking
else.
crazy.
And she said the Eagles, I was like,
when she said it, I probably didn't hear nothing else after that.
Right, I never really thought of myself being like the Eagles, but now that she says it,
yeah, I see it.
I do see it, cause like there's rock, but then there's really soft melodies and hooks that come in. That are like, you changed that up. And that wasn't nothing like. And then the deep songs that talk about very descriptive things, down a dark desert highway. Like we're really telling a very clear story. One of these lonely, crazy nights, so darling. Like,
and wait till we haven't even like. It's so amazing where we can go, cause we're essentially still just performing songs we've already done, and. We're headed towards. We have little skeletons of shit we've done together, but like, if a bitch say the Eagles, we need to start working on harmonies, 2-part harmonies, where we could just fucking Eagles. Like.
Someone to be kind to.
Like, wait till we start getting off in Nas bags, bro.
But their solos are crazy.
Yeah, but yours will be crazy too.
I'm gonna have to come up with something different because them boys are nasty.
Those niggas are super nasty.
Bro, I was very happy and just proud of myself, like looking at myself like 2020, past tense, like, bro, you pulled off that solo. Like the last one, that's why I sort of wanted
you hit all them solos.
I wanted to see that video because I wanted to hear and see just like, nigga, you did it. Because I was there were so many times I ruined that solo, like completely. I just completely fumbled it.
And you didn't.
And it didn't sound horrible, but it didn't sound bad.
It sounded good to me.
It sounded decent, but it could definitely sound better for the recording. But I was like, okay.
And we also just have to give ourselves grace, bro. We're doing so much. We're not a band that's focused on music 24/7.
Yeah.
We literally come together for like
part-time,
the wee hours of the night to try to get some shit in. To scrap, bro. Because we have the rest of life is just fucking lifing, bro. Yeah. So yeah, it went well, and I talked about how the girl V, she gave good energy. Like, how about the first time that's a sign. The first time we do a show, motherfucker wanted to interview us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll come out, but it's still good vibes.
Yeah.
She could have interviewed a bunch of motherfuckers that walked off of there, but she didn't.
That's true.
She interviewed us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely great vibes. There was people who were being really nice and just like very understanding. And I'm really happy about that. But I think a lot of that came from our energy when we were coming up. And
We were willing. We were like, and it's crazy because both. It's so funny because both of us do have a personality. We could be like, man, fuck
yes,
all this
yes,
shit, but
yes.
we know how to. That's why I really believe we know how to. We could be professionals and
Mhm.
showmanship what it takes in the industry
Mhm.
to make it somewhere. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe behind closed doors. I'm like, man, fuck all these motherfuckers. But
Mhm.
when you in front of people,
You know how to get.
you know how to get
whatever the situation.
exactly.
Is. Yeah.
And the two
Yeah.
Crunk for Jesus guy was talking about how I guess either his sons or whoever's with him was trying to Shazam us.
Oh wow, that's
He was
crazy.
like, man, he's trying to Shazam every song we did. And no, we really gotta get our shit out there, cause the nigga was trying to Shazam us.
Wow.
I ain't never heard a nigga say they try to Shazam you. Nigga was trying to Shazam your ass, nigga.
But now I'm thinking of how many people over the years have tried to Shazam me,
And you just don't have shit out there.
and they never said anything.
Yeah.
And then did you see how DJ Super J was like, "Hey, y'all can't hear this song nowhere else."
Right, literally, unless that nigga comes to perform it.
Hey, that song actually
he
is out
knows.
though. That song actually is out.
Oh, it is?
You can't hear that song, but I mean, still, it's just so funny that he says that because for so long it wasn't out.
Yeah.
You know, it was like he probably doesn't know he can get it. He doesn't know it's on all streaming platforms. But I mean, that's one of my shames is that when I come on streaming platforms, I have so little. But then I'll go to like SoundCloud and I have all these unreleased gems, and it's like, bro, let this shit out. And that's why I wanted to tell you, when we put out this stuff, I want to cross pollinate. And when I say that, I mean
I want a website.
certain
bro.
songs that we work on together, I want them on both projects.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So like they can be on
yes.
both, and then they can be on your project, or they could
Yes.
be on mine. But I want us to change the versions. So
Okay.
if we're gonna put like, oh, we're gonna do the fast version, we're gonna do the slow version, and then we're gonna do one other version kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can always have somewhere to put it out, as opposed to
It
saying
could be different versions
it's
on
the
each
same
one of
album.
our projects. Or
That's what I'm
something,
saying.
If we wanted to.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you saying like, let's say for example, we did a song, the fast version was on mine, and the slower one was on yours, or like the rock version was on yours, and the Jamaican version was on mine.
Yes. So
Yeah,
like
that's
you know how you were
cool.
talking about you had the performance version of a song and then you had the original recording
Yeah.
and you didn't know if you were gonna put it out.
Yeah.
You can put out the original recording on Voe or put it out on your album and then put out the other one on Voe and then or put both of them out and
No,
then put
you're
it out as a
right.
bonus take or just put it out as a single. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
Funky Feeling, for example, has a very hip hoppy West Coast, but when we play it like that, it's just like it
But-
feels different.
But both versions deserve to live.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I say that because somebody might really like that. And it's not going to hurt us if we have 3 opportunities to put out a project and possibly 4 if Big Mama come out with stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we
Yeah.
need to diversify and cross-pollinate that way.
I'm not gonna lie, it was everything and very unexpected, but everything for that girl to say that she was like, I was fucking with your solo song. I was like, I looked. It just made me feel like keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just was like, you was paying attention to that? I think they watched the whole set.
I think they did, especially when I called them out. Because remember I called them out from the stage. Well, I manifested that. And I even tagged them in one of the posts I did before. Like, there were certain people who I was like, I would want to work with these people. And so I started tagging those people who I would want to work with.
I'd work with a girl.
B Honey?
Yeah,
Yeah, she cool.
possibly.
I'm not saying she bad.
On some,
I'd work up with Brandon.
they were expected.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they did was expected.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't nothing that was like,
H-Town Classic and
yeah.
I have nothing against that. That wasn't my thing. My bag was do an awesome fucking rock show like this might be your last rock show and get off these nuts that you've been trying to get off for a long
Yeah.
time. You know, because I couldn't get them off the way I wanted when we did System Failure. You know, they were just not executed
Even with
the way I
even with
wanted
a
it.
really good drummer. It just still didn't.
It wasn't
Sometimes
right.
less is more.
And that's what I think we just found out because we've been talking about doing that. So I feel like if we kept the same setup and we added horns to it, and like a a, a bass player, not a bass player would be great, but if we could get a celloist or somebody like to really
to make it epic, dramatize.
so you have a two trumpet players, one sax player, and then if you could get like a trombone player, you know what I'm saying?
Sick.
That would be amazing.
Or a fucking
xylophone.
Just for certain songs.
Yeah.
That shit changes the game, nigga.
Hey, a harp. If you gonna do a xylophone, I'd rather do a harp than a xylophone. 'Cause that shit is epic.
I got a quick story. When we used to live on Rosewood, this nigga Winston, man, you never know what was going on at this nigga Winston the crib, man. But one time, that nigga was like, "Hey, man, what you doing to Joe? Hey, come through the spot." And I just had to come right up the street, walk down the street, sitting there. He had a bitch in there with a giant harp, just playing. I was like, "Why is this bitch in there playing harp?" The way he used to talk like a pimp. Yeah, man, yeah, we got a bitch playing harp and he calling her a bitch and shit. Yeah, I got a bitch playing harp in here. Yeah, nigga, a harp. That shit was huge, bro. Just took up the whole living room. And he just, I guess he paid some bitch just to play harp music while they was
they're thousands of dollars.
Tree and shit. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
Bro, those harps are like $3,000 easy.
She was probably getting drugs from this nigga or something. And he was just like, man, why don't you motherfucker come play the motherfucking harp for me a little bit? And I just, it was so funny walking in there and seeing this giant harp. It wasn't one of them little ones. It was the one that's.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm like,
with the pedals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in a room this size, and it's just like it's way too big for this room.
I saw a dude with a tuba outside, and I was like, man, it'd be great to have him come record, but bro, you can't come in here.
It's too big.
I gotta record you outside.
Alright, nigga.
Cause you start really blowing that thing. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, and then and to end, it was dope. Us going. We took some photos with a guy, and then he took our photos, and then going out to eat was cool and celebrate. Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. Roy treated us, man. Shout out to Roy. And he, I'm sure Roy knows all the spots that are like that. I need to be just picking his brain now.
Because he know
he gonna have to give him up now.
About every time we come out, we go somewhere
and he'd be like, I ain't never seen this shit. And that shit is right. How many times I
drive
by that?
He don't even live in the state. He don't even be here, but like maybe out of the year, he might be in our state maybe 2 months.
How many times you drive by that shit?
Places. Oh man,
and never knew that was there.
Never knew.
Yeah, like, nice. I want to know how long that place has been there. Is it new?
Probably at least 2 years.
That
shit looks like it's been there. It's
a nice vibe. I almost don't want to tell nobody. Because imagine that place getting too packed.
You'd be pissed.
I'd be like, nah, I don't want it. And they might want it to be a little bit more packed just to get bread. But I liked how the traffic in there wasn't too crazy, but it was just enough. And that shit was ran like a nice fucking restaurant.
And they treat you really
The
nice.
food was good. For the most part. I don't know what you have. Was that fried chicken really that good? It was.
It was very good.
Damn.
Very good.
Yeah, the
Didn't
burger.
have none of that cartilage shit in it.
Yeah. The burger was good.
I bet.
The burger was off the chain.
Everything they had in there was good.
Yeah,
the calamari was good.
That was good. That little, whatever that little ball, that little ball was, a boudin. I don't know what the fuck that was. That shit was good. So good. But no, it was a great hummus. Oh, that's what that was that we was dipping that shit in. No, it was cool. I really enjoyed it. I really look forward to the next shows and hope we just keep pushing. And I'm really excited and I'm ready to record. Like, I'm even out there with the kids today. Like, the last, like, month or so, like, I keep one AirPod in, and I'm just listening to my music. Even while I'm And my locks cover everything up too, so it's just like you can't really. It's like so now I'm recording shit and I'm listening to shit I did. So I'm trying to get back in that mode, you know, of writing and recording. But yeah, it was a great experience. I'm very happy, and yeah, you got Joe's testimony for the 420 Flower Fest's Voe's first show. It was cool.
Talk about that expensive ass shirt.
Talk about $40. You ever seen Baby Boy? You remember the gay nigga that do the hair? He was trying to sell the shit.
$40.
How much? I sell it to you for $40. $40. Nigga was like, here, nigga. And still gave it to him.
Negligee.
That little shit he put up next to him.
Yeah.
Nah, they was tripping with that. 40 bands.
$40.
God damn, it probably ain't cost you $5 to make that motherfucking shirt.
He stole it. It didn't cost him nothing.
Right. Looked at that nigga $40.
He wanted that shirt bad. That little negligee. That little thing. He said, I have to have it. Okay. $40.
No, I'm talking about the actual 420 Flower Fest shirt.
Oh, yeah. That's still crazy.
They probably cost him $5 to make that.
Oh, they were probably every bit of it. Because they got nice.
$7.
No, they were probably more like $12.
Okay. It was. I had to check the quality. I haven't really checked the quality of the shirt.
I touched on it.
Probably a little better than I think.
It's the higher quality gilded.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool then.
So it's like, it had a black label, not the white and blue label. So I was like, okay.
You know what that makes me think of? Like, you know how you be doing shit and you already be like, we had a saying. I still say it. It's been, man. I've been had polo. That's like nigga, I've been fresh. Like, cause we used to always talk about how we used to wear polo before polo got popular amongst niggas. Like we was rocking polo and shit. So that's just like a phrase we say, man. Been had polo. Like, man, I've been on that shit. Like, I could even say that about like. It's funny now that because what's hot right now is Pro Club T-shirts, which is just like the beauty supply. You got Gildan, you got Pro Club. But I was niggas used to get on like me making fun of me. This nigga Joe, all he wears Pro Club. My ex Pro Club, bro. Do you know like
that's how it be
the
now.
top niggas from Travis Scott to all these niggas be like, yeah, I got my Pro Club. I like, bitch. What if you would have just supported me? I've always been on the shit.
Yep.
You thinking I'm not trendy. I'm
It's just
literally
because
like
I'm
15 to 20 years before niggas think it's hot.
Right.
Type shit. And I just organically did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now Pro Club is like the shit now, bro. Like, Pro Club is just like... Yep. I'm like, I've been rocking Pro Club, nigga. I've been had polo. What you talking about?
That's true though.
Like I've been already had this swag that you thought wasn't swaggy, but now
before Kanye,
somebody comes out and it's like, oh.
Before Kanye had the polos, I still had polos. Nigga, we was all rocking polos.
We was rocking polo before this nigga.
There's certain places
I wasn't rocking Louis Vuitton.
There's certain places you can only go with polos.
Yeah.
Nigga, yes. Well, we play golf. Yes, if you play golf, you have a polo.
We had the polos with the bear.
The Izod.
We had the bear polo. We had the purple label and the gold label, whatever it is.
I don't even know about the labels, but niggas be knowing.
That's specific types of polo. I had a couple shirts like that. It's like I can't. You can't tell a nigga nothing because once niggas get a hold of the shit, they invented it. It's like, but this Pro Club shit was. I really laugh at that shit. Like, bro. Niggas used to be like, Joe, Mr. Black, Mr. Pro T, Black T, Mr. Nah, all motherfuckers want to wear is the Black T Pro Clubs. Or have they merch made with Pro Club shirts. It's like, I'm trying to tell you. I'm signing off as far as the interview. It was a great night. Went home and I crashed.
Okay, now I have some questions.
Oh, shit, okay.
Who is Rodeo Joe? These are questions to help you establish in your brain and our brain who we are and what we're marketing. You know? What is our intention as an artist? So, who is Rodeo Joe? and I feel like it'll be good.
And that's a good question because people always ask me, rodeo, why they call you that?
These are questions we hate to get in real life.
And I'd be like, well, nigga, just call me that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess I started there. I got that name from, I used to be way more turned up. So just like, you know, I mean, fuck this shit. Like, you can find old footage of me just like, oh shit, this nigga was like not like crazy, but like I was like I'm more outspoken, like a pimp. I would be more outspoken and say some shit. Life of a party aiming at times. And then my music was the beats I would make. You know, it was very like it was like a rodeo. It was like, oh, it was like, but Rodeo Joe is. I just like to groove, bro. I like to funk. When you think of like Dr. Funkenstein, that's like Rodeo Joe. When you think of like I'm trying to really paint the picture. Like when I showed you Reverend X hitting that, that's the state of mind of Rodeo Joe. That dance to that music. That's me. Like I'm the nigga walking in. It's just like. That's the feeling I want to evoke mostly, you know. But being with you brings my other side out. Like that I like. I love rock music. You make me want to listen to it more. I would just have moments where I listen to it on my own. Because I don't know a lot of people that listen to it like I do.
Right.
And you're one of the first black dudes that actually just openly listen to like rock and like you know about your shit, and it's like, oh shit, it's like it makes me feel even more comfortable around you because it's just like I always would have to hide that I jam that shit.
Yeah, or country. We started making country music.
And have to hide that I like. Hide the shit like.
It's a good song.
Like my mama got in the car the other day. I was driving her to that bus stop and Peter Frampton was on, and she was like, "Oh, you're listening to," but then
she knew the song.
Once Once it got quiet though, I could see her like bobbing her head. I was like, "See, you like that Peter Frampton? Yeah, you like Frampton? Huh? Yeah, Rodeo Joe is just funky, man. I'm just funky, and funky don't have to be like just funk music. It's some stank on whatever it is. It could be stank on rock, stank on country, but that's the essence of who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just love music and hoping that we have enough time on this earth to give a piece of who we are. You know? Yeah. To give really communicate how I feel about that shit. You know, I don't have much more other than that. Like,
I think that's a perfect segue to the next question.
Yeah.
What is your background story? So, as an artist, what if somebody was like, well, "Who is he?" and how? Like, you know how they have those long synopses. Like, what would be your synopsis?
My background story, as quick as I can, to how I got to where I am now, started in Third Ward. Well, first of all, let me back it up from there. My dad, I've always been in music. I've always been a performer, bro. Really. I'm really like, that's why like the switch is gonna click one day even more, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah. Because my whole entire life I've been in ensemble theater. I've been an actor. I haven't just been a nigga who plays music, bro. Like, I was in plays. I would, like, I did ensemble theater in Houston, which is like a theater that puts on production black folks, and I did it for 3 years. They summer program.
I was in the summer program. That's how I met Chelsea.
Oh, really? And it could have been possible we was in that bitch. We just never talked to each other. You know what I'm saying?
And you know,
because there was a bunch of kids I just never talked to.
You know Dominique?
I know that name.
She was in. She's been doing a lot of acting. She was in.
She dark skinned?
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about.
She was in a movie with Will Ferrell. She was in Insecure.
Getting
Dominique
fucked?
Perry, yeah.
Getting fucked? She from Houston?
Yeah, she was in the ensemble program.
I was in that bitch, bro. Like, I feel like when you say Rodeo Joe, I feel like I haven't even tapped into, like, back then when I was free, and I didn't think I had to be cool. Like, I would dance, I would get up and be dancing.
You've been sanitizing yourself for the crowd.
Yes.
To be appeasing to the crowd.
Because realistically, I'm someone that could be like an actor and I could do Broadway. I feel like I've dumbed that shit down. I always say sports kind of ruined it for me in a sense. If sports were great, but like that whole aspect, once you start doing sports, there's this element of being black and now you cool and now you got to get the girls.
That's true.
I was a straight nerd, but I had swag, but like I was really nerdy and I didn't care what nobody thought of me, and I was just like I had all this that was taking me, and I kind of dumbed that shit down, honestly. So I'm hoping that in my later ages somehow that's still.
I think we dumb it down to get hoes.
We dumb shit down to get hoes.
Because I remember I used to be super out there, super unique. Like when I first started going to the high school I graduated from, I came in there. I had a SpongeBob backpack that wasn't even a backpack. It was a SpongeBob doll that I added ribbon, like blue ribbon to, so I could use it as a backpack. And then I still had a backpack.
And you know what's crazy about the times? You could do that now and be a fly nigga.
Hey, I thought I was fly back then until the girls told me.
I didn't mean to say
No, but the girls told me they were like, Troy, that shit was corny. Yeah, but prom night you were still in my bed, so it's like.
But I'm talking about the YN. They call them YNs now, young niggas now.
Right.
They do. That's like they MO, coming up with shit like. And you was like we said, you been had polo. You just being yourself. Now it's cool to be an anime loving. Tonight is the night I'll fall for you.
I used to paint
and be
my
black
own
and
clothing.
do it.
I used to you know how they have the pen. That's when I came up with Prep Boy Troy and Troy Desiak, and I started branding. I used to start branding all that shit.
You still got to do that,
bro. Troy Desiak, that's gonna be an album. Troy Desiak.
Either album and clothing.
Oh yeah.
Or a fragrance.
Oh, that would be great. Troy Desiak. What does it smell like? Ass and ginger.
Frankincense, ass, and ginger.
Ooh, that might smell. Whose ass? Looks like Erykah Badu's pussy. It's
right, like, Badusi or something.
But I don't want her ass. If I'm thinking of somebody's ass, it gotta be somebody's ass.
I already had a great value version of that. So. Anyway, I came up there, and then one day when I was at St. Mary's, I was walking by a classroom. I've always been into music, just love music. My dad played music, all of his. That's why I like old school shit. My parents is older than most people's parents. Kind of like, aren't your parents in the 70s? Yeah, we got we kind of got some older parents than most. My daddy is about to be 77 this year, nigga. That's wild. Yeah. So do the math.
My parents are just breaking into the 70s.
Yeah, my dad is 7 years old. Yeah. They old, nigga. But he would, back when they had 95.7 The Wave, it was jazz music here. It was like I was into jazz and shit like that. So I remember walking by a classroom and the guy was giving piano lessons, and I was like, oh shit, I want to learn how to play piano, and that's where it started. And then my mom got me piano lessons with KRW Studios with Wilford Glenn, and I would do class. I was kind of classically trained, and then I met this nigga Lawrence in middle school, and he started taking drum lessons at Mars. Remember Mars?
Oh wow!
Yeah, yes. Throwback, real nigga. That's how you know a nigga been on that music. Yes. You niggas just started. Nigga. I was at that Mars, bro.
Check this. I always wanted to go to Mars. And we would never go to Mars, but we always went to the Hobby Lobby that was right next to it. And we always went to the Home Depot that was next to it.
But you ain't go to Mars. Because your daddy had you building shit. He didn't want you to do no music, nigga.
Yeah, hey, I swear, I think we went into it one time when it was getting ready to close, and it was like not its glory. Like there was like not a whole bunch of displays.
Mars was huge.
Mars was the place to get microphones and all of that.
All the audio. Because they had a stage in there.
So
you could perform. There was a stage. People would perform.
Wow. I should have known that was going to be my thing when I was getting excited about Mars. I would be like, can we go to Mars? I would see commercials and be like, can we go there?
What a great name.
Stuff from there.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Like, but they got thousands
Bro,
of dollars.
if you'd have went in Mars and somehow found out about music lessons, you'd have been playing with us. Because that's how we met Leon Mitchison, who used to be under Conrad Johnson. And he would teach lessons there. And he was teaching, I think, Lawrence drums or some shit like that. And the nigga was like, I want to start a band. And Lawrence was like, I came over there. And that's how I started. We under the direction of this nigga Leon Mitchison, who also taught Gerald Calhoun, one of the coldest bassists from Houston. These are people who play with, like, the greats, bro. And that's what I started playing with. And we would go to his house every week. After the Mars shit, we started performing. We won the only musical competition ever at Astro. I don't even niggas know that Astro used to have music competition. They had 1 year they had music competition. We won that bitch. Oh yeah, we won that bitch. Yeah, Joe Sample called us the Neo Crusaders. How wasn't that not enough to inspire me to go? Cause I just didn't understand. I just wasn't putting two and two together. Looked Joe Sample in the face, and the nigga said, "Y'all the Neo Crusaders." Cause we were so young doing the shit. He hadn't seen young niggas doing jazz, and like there were other people playing jazz, and they were like, but they weren't. We were so good in the pocket. He liked that about us. He was like, "Oh my gosh, look how these young niggas know how to play the pocket, nigga." He was just like, "That's gonna take y'all a long way that you can play in the pocket." And ever since then, like, I just, we were hoping that, again, sports kind of ruined our parents. We were playing steak and L's and getting money. We were doing gigs and getting money, bro. But our parents didn't believe in it, and they were like, like how your daddy was like, "Nigga, we going to Home Depot, nigga. We ain't going to Mars." Like, that ain't gonna make you no money, nigga.
Straight up.
Instead of just feeding into, like, hey,
just do this.
Just do this.
Because there was a lot of people already investing. Like, by the time I was, like, 12, I had already performed with, like, Michelle Williams.
You feel me?
So it was like, bro, if y'all aren't investing, like, really, right after I did my first ensemble, then I got picked to sing this thing at the Wortham, and then I sang with Michelle Williams.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like, clearly he has a knack for this. Push him this way.
And then I was in the church and sang in that band for forever, and they wouldn't even come to church. I'd just be the only one in there. So it's just like, just invest in.
I did not mention that the church I grew up in was very musical, and like I said, I sang with Ashley Tamar Davis, who sung with Prince and do Tyler Perry. It's fucking shit. And then once I got to college on a track scholarship, I kind of got away from music. Then came back here, and I was working for the Texans, an internship, which was cool. But I was like, I want to do music, and I started making beats, and that's how, like, Rosewood came about, and like I came back alive into the shit. So, well, yeah, that's how I got it. That's my whole kind of musical. But I've always just listened to. I'm the nigga who taped Rap City, who taped like me and my cousin. If I find this shit, me and my cousin, she used to just tape Rap City, Midnight Soul or Midnight Love.
So funny.
All that shit, bro. We probably have shit that they don't got. Like, bro, she has tubs of VHSs of just like every episode that you've ever seen. Like, we just had that shit. That's some fucking fire ass shit to have, dog. Like, crazy. I probably need to start. Probably when I get older, I'm gonna get the shit. When I get to as an older man, smoking the pipe, putting them tapes, run them hoes back. Hopefully, I have kids.
Those are the days. You need to put them on DVD.
Put them on DVD.
Just get messed up.
It's true.
Put them on a hard drive.
But that's my musical. That's my musical background.
Okay, so what are your current obstacles? What are you going through as a musician, and what are you overcoming that people can you champion you through?
I think the biggest obstacle, and I still haven't done it, because I just feel like I'm getting older. This feeling that I'm getting older in age, and I just waited too long. Is
Very real thing.
giving music 100% of my time. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that unless we come up with something dope enough to where it leads to where we can do it 100% of our time, and then we'll see the fruits of our labor, what you could have been doing. So that's why I'm really focused on like writing music and like, cause it only takes one song. It could be our song or something we wrote for, like, example, we've been talking about Mother Nature. Something that blows them up, and that who wrote that, and now you in the studio with these people, and you're writing, and now you're getting enough money to where I don't have to do nothing else but focus on music.
Yeah.
And then it'll just exponentially
Even
take
if
you.
I have to lower my living standards in order to get there, it would be worth it if you can get there. You know?
Yeah. See something?
I don't know if I saw a cat or something. Okay, the next question is, because I think that's a good answer. Who needs to hear your music?
Who needs to hear my music? Who do I think needs to hear my music? That's a really good question. And do you mean like somebody who I think if they heard it, they'd be like, oh my gosh, or just
like
who's my audience?
Who's your audience? Who's your fans? Who are your people?
That's a good question, bro. Cause that's hard. Because I still feel like everybody feels like they make something that but they are groundbreaking and nobody's done it before. But I really feel like, especially both of us are like, we have these styles that like a lot of people aren't really doing. You know, so it's just like I haven't really put my finger on what it is. Like, but I guess people who into hip hop, funk, jazz, you know, people who are into that.
I think it's fair if I answer some of these questions because I haven't answered.
Yeah, answer.
So let me answer a couple of them, and then like we can just go back and forth because I sort of want to answer it for my damn self. All right. So first thing, who's Troy Leonardo? Troy Leonardo is a musical. I would like to say like a musical prophet, but I think it's stupid when you call yourself a prophet, which is sort of why it's cool to call yourself a prophet. But it just goes against itself. But I like contradictions. I like controlled chaos. And I like creating a space for creativity when it comes to argument for argument's sake. So I really like talking about history and bringing up historical references that can bring light to history and make history fun for people to intake, and giving them real statistics and real facts, but giving it to them in a manner to where they can say, wow, I never thought of it that way, and that's more personalized for learning history. Sort of like the modern professor slash philosopher kind of thing. So that's what I would like to think of who I am. And then my backstory is I grew up in the church singing, like the little kid who was singing in the adult choir and just consistently singing. I did acting classes. I did ballet classes. I did dancing classes. I even did...
Both were kind of...
I did cheerleading classes because there was a girl named Margot Fanning, and I really wanted to date her, so I started taking those cheerleading classes. It was like a dancing cheerleading class, like a class you had to take before you become a cheerleader. And I did it just to be with her, and then it turned out she was past that class because she was already a cheerleader. So I wasn't in the same class as her, so I was like, yeah, I need to get out this class. I was like, yeah, this ain't going to cut it, man. What's drop day? Yeah, let's just go and drop this, man. Yeah, this is gay as hell. You know, I thought I was going to see her every other day. So acting, love doing that. I worked all through, you know, the theater system, and just have always tried to keep music a part of my life. I was on the step team in high school, which was very prolific, and ended up going on America's Got Talent with them. And that was really where I think I learned my rhythm for or my ability to be able to change pace or understand what was next, and really mastering, just how to understand pace and rhythm and keep tempo and stuff like that. If I had never done that, I don't think I'd ever be able to play the guitar. So super grateful for that. And then I really didn't start playing the guitar until I was 21, and I started singing. Well, on my 21st birthday, I went to Hotel Zaza, and well, not my 21st birthday. It was my mom's birthday, and her birthday's on February 3rd. Mine's on the 12th. So for her birthday, I went there. I sang her happy birthday, and then Dino, who was in charge of the band there, asked me to come back the following day in order to, which was a Thursday night, in order to sing with the band. And so I ended up singing with the band for like a year and a half. And then after that, they were losing their residency with him. And so I picked up the guitar because I was like, I'm going to have to learn. In my head, I knew if I don't have a band, I'm screwed, because nobody wants to hear a solo singer just walking around singing. So you got to have a band. And I was like, right. I was like, it's super, right. And I was like, it's super hard to get a band. So you need to be the band. And then you'll be a commodity. You'll be a reason why people want you to come, because your voice is really what people want. The instrument will just be a reason for them to hire you, And so I started working on that. So I came into the place, and this is when I was just starting, really. And I came in there and played like one song. I think it was If You Want Me to Stay by Sly Stone, because that's what I used to cover there a lot. And maybe like another song, but it was really not a lot. But that was my first time performing in a really nice place with the guitar. And I was with John Chaney, who's a saxophonist, and he was really nice about that and just allowing me to get that. And then also shout outs to, I already did Dino, but Eric, Mr. E, he was amazing. He was like a great mentor for that whole thing. He was the one who was the most influential. And they really just helped me to understand what professionalism really looked like in the real world, which is not really as professional as you think it is. Right. So if you are professional, then you're really standing out. Yeah. Like if you're not a cokehead, if you're not an asshole, like you really stand out in the industry if you're good. So that's where I really learned. Don't be a jerk. Try to be really nice to people. Don't be arguing with people and stuff like that. And that really just helped form my ideas of what I needed to do. And then I got into performing. So a friend of mine, named Deuce Marley, he had a show, and he had it at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum before they moved, and he asked me to come play at it. And that was the first time I started writing music, and I performed live by myself for like, I want to say it was like 15, 20 minutes, and I was so nervous, but it was like an awesome spot. He gave me like a headlining spot right before him.
And this is when you were playing guitar too? Right?
Yeah, this is when I was playing the guitar and singing. And I remember doing that show and thinking, oh my God, I'm so nervous, but thinking, oh my God, I think I can do this. And then I started performing at word of mouth, and that's where I really got my confidence as a stage performer. And it was a weekly spot, and then it was always consistent, and that's where I met DJ Elevated, and that's also where I met DJ Super J, and a lot of other people who I'm still friends with. And it was just a really great ground for cutting your teeth, and it taught me through Lessons of Love, who was another band with J Love and K Smooth.
We performed with them here.
Right. They taught me that I needed to write freaky songs. And so I was like, right, because they wrote freaky songs. So in competition with people like that, you realize what the crowd wants to hear. So I started writing some freakier songs, writing more intimate songs, writing songs about breakups and things like that. And I started realizing that I was actually pretty talented at writing. And then, and I only say that because none of my stuff was out, but people were singing my songs. It's like, y'all are remembering my songs from week to week, right, and I'm not out. So it's doing something. And then I would just write a song, and that day I would be able to get feedback from people, So that really was like test through the fire, and that gave me some of my first songs and gave me the confidence. And then everything just started building from there, getting phone calls to ask, hey, can you do this for paid, and then yeah, it went from there. So now we're here. And what are obstacles that I deal with? I have really bad imposter syndrome, and I'm always worried about I'm not as good as Prince, and I'm not as good as Jimi Hendrix, and I'll never be as good as Art Tatum, and I'll never be able to shoot movies like Spike Lee, and I'll never be all these other things that I want to be, as smart as Nikola Tesla type shit. But I am just understanding, I am good enough, and good enough doesn't mean being the best. So it's okay to just I do want to strive for greatness, and I do want to be the best, but if I'm not there, I can't be mad at myself to the point of I self-destruct. And I think self-destruction for me looks like not putting anything out, giving yourself a chance to be wrong or right, because you're nervous about the backlash of it. So my current obstacle is putting out everything that comes to my mind until people get tired of me putting stuff out, because I've been drowning people with my music and my talents and capabilities, and every time I go out and perform, it reminds me, you're super talented, bro, and you're sort of a jerk for not putting out music. Like, there's really people who really want to hear your stuff. Like, Super J is proof. He said it on stage. It's like, this dude really supports you, and he don't even know where to find your stuff. This is sad. So yeah.
Here, I'm trying to put belt to your ass, nigga.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that.
I hope that's not.
No, it's cool.
Start putting more and more pressure. I know you hear me saying more and more, like, I'm ready. I think we need to record. Nigga.
Yeah, and I'm saying it too, and I'm manifesting all of it. And another one of my obstacles is being scared that when people come in here, I have to worry about bad things happening. Because I've heard rumors and horror stories and stuff. So it's got me to the point of I want to keep myself safe. I want to keep musicians safe, and I want to keep my property safe and my family. And so it's just very important to me that this is a very serious project and endeavor. So when I do invite people over, I want it to be very clear that this is for creativity processes and purposes only. But be that as it may, I've been opening myself up a lot more to finding the right people and just stretching that muscle so it doesn't atrophy, of meeting new people, trusting new people, allowing them to have an opportunity to play with you and jam and be natural and free, and just learning new people like Big Mama, just learning who she is and what she's like. So yeah, who needs my music? I think the generation of people who feel like they don't have a place in the world, the generation of people who feel like they're not going to own homes, and who feel like their degrees are for nothing, and who feel like the banking system is set up to screw them, and feels like the government is never going to listen to their cries, and who feels like, everything that they've been taught is just a vague version of the truth. I want those people to listen to what I have to say, simply because it's a good story. I'm not trying to make anybody angry or sad or anything. I'm just trying to entertain people with good stories that aren't dealing with people's body parts getting wet, and
or
people
how much money you got.
Exactly, are going really nice places, and like, I want to actually tell stories that get your mind going, like
shit you've been through.
Twilight Zone stories. It's not good or bad, but call it the black zone, the Black Matter zone. But bottom line is and then the question of, am I helping my listeners survive?
Helping my listeners survive.
Yeah, like, and the question really means, when you have people who are going up to Nirvana, or going up to Prince, or going up to, you know, Kendrick Lamar, and being like, hey, J. Cole, whatever, Drake, you helped me through a very hard time. When I was battling cancer, when I was going through a divorce, you were the person I listened to. So, are you helping your listener survive? I think I am. I think I'm giving guys specifically who are melanated, who haven't had the time and the opportunities to feel like they weren't appreciated or they weren't valued for whatever reasons. I feel like I give them a voice and a way to be upset in a space where people will listen and say, you know what, we hear that and we value it, as opposed to shame on you for even messing up our calm. And so yeah, I think I'm helping that listener survive. Did you answer the last question?
As far who?
Did you answer the who?
The only thing I didn't answer was
the last one.
Whatever you just said.
Okay.
Say it again.
Are you helping your listener survive?
I honestly, when somebody actually does, you know, it's funny. I have people that are just like listen to something I do just to be like, all right. And then every now and then I have somebody sit and listen, and they come back and they be like, oh damn, nigga, you was saying all of this shit. I'll be like, yeah. Like, what do you, like, you always say you got a master's degree, and like, I mean, it's like, bro, I put into the music shit that is like clever, that's like, it'd be like, did you really listen to what I was saying right there? Like, I don't know. So I think when you do actually sit down and listen to, yes, which I've had people come to me, which is not a lot of people, but when they do and finally actually sit down and don't be like, just halfway did it, and they listen, they be like, oh, fuck. A nigga will randomly come out of nowhere and be like, holy shit, nigga. And you'll see that person added to a playlist, because I don't have a shit ton of listeners. So you'll see when one song gets listened to a lot, like somebody jamming this one song a lot. And then that person will 9 times out of 10 will come out to me and be like, bro, I really fuck with, I'll be like, yeah, nigga. So, I mean, I feel like yes and no. I just don't feel like I've putting out enough shit.
Yeah, I feel like I
are
do
speaking.
that when I'm live, but I don't do it when I'm not live. So people are like starving for more of that content.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like, I feel like now I've went through enough stuff to where I can make more music that will connect with people more so than I was just trying to make you. Like, I would have a whole project and then like, it might be 1 or 2 songs on it that could really like, you know, like, I mean, not all of it really, but it'd be some really specific like shit that'll really make you be like, oh, okay, he was talking about this. And really trying to get somebody to listen to this. But like, I feel like because I've went through things, whether it's heartbreak, failures, or different things, like what I want to write now is really gonna be like the next level of like that answer to that question. Like,
okay. So the next question is, how are you overcoming your current obstacles? Like what we were talking about.
I don't know, man. I try to literally, as cliche as it sounds, take things a day at a time.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel overwhelmed. Now, and I know my overwhelming and your overwhelming are 2 different overwhelmings. Yeah. Because you have a whole family. You know?
Yeah. I get mostly overwhelmed when something bad happens to them that I can't fix immediately. Yeah. Because it's just like, y'all are putting things on my plate I cannot fix. And that's just overwhelming.
I guess I feel overwhelmed because what feels overwhelming to me is, I guess I'm at the point in my life at an age where like, my whole life I've never really cared about material things at all. I I've never been like, I want a lot of money. I've been able to live with just not a lot of money. But now I'm just like, all right, I want some money now. So the obstacles in life right now are just like giving myself a skill set that's outside of like teaching or education, which I don't really want to. I want to be in the space, but like a business that runs in it, but I'm not in it. Like, but just that's been difficult. And then the obstacle is doing that while having the same burning sensation I've had since a kid, that I think I can make it. I believe I could at any given moment, if I really put my all on it. I don't think it would be like a leapfrog thing. But that's my obstacle, is maybe I should be stopping everything I'm doing and just say, hey, for a year, you're only going to fucking... And every time I tried to do it, something else took me away from it. Like, mostly it was my relationship. You know, with my ex, like, being gaslit to be like, you can't have any regrets. I don't want to be with nobody who got regrets. But then at the same time, when I start doing music, you're putting music in front of me. What
happened to don't have regrets?
It's like when I start doing it,
no regrets.
No regrets. When I start doing it, you start switching up. So it just naturally be like, well.
I think that was a big part of you getting to where you're at now, is by leaving her.
Yeah.
I don't think you would be as far as you are musically if you were with her.
No. I think I would have been got where I needed to be.
You kept pushing your brakes with her to try to appease her. You're like, up, like the drummer we were talking about, whose wife was mad at him. It's like, bro, you got to push your brakes to try to appease her, so you really can't take advantage of good opportunities. Because it might be when she doesn't want you to do it, but that's the opportunity.
And she's secretly competing with me because of what she wants to accomplish, and she just wants to see me get there first.
Yeah, let me see.
It's fucked up.
Okay, so how am I overcoming my current obstacles? Now, my current obstacles are, having people in the studio. So I'm sort of different to where I've been pushing myself to damn near breaking. I started calling everybody I could find, and I started reaching out to the people and seeing, hey, is it possible to make this happen? Because I really want this to happen, So I just pushed it really hard. And then with the imposter syndrome, I am aware that I have the imposter syndrome, and I do want to get better at it. But the way that I work on it is by actually performing and by actually creating content that I know is strong. And then when I actually perform it, doing it in a good manner, or hopefully in a fantastic manner consistently, to where people and myself can build up repetitions in my head of saying, okay, you can do this, you're really good at this, don't stress about it. So that's how I beat my imposter syndrome, and when I don't perform, it just gets worse. But I still don't like performing, but I would feel better if I was actually putting out songs. So that's how I'm overcoming the obstacles as of right now. And then also having meetings like this with Joe, to where we're going over our stuff. I hate going over stuff like this and letting people all in the business, but
it's necessary,
yeah, it's necessary for y'all. This is day 58. Y'all have been watching this almost 60 days. And so it's good to have an idea of what's going on. And then also, this is the third session for today, so technically we should be at 60 by now. But I just want to overcome that fear of not being good enough. And then, how are you going to thrive? Since you answered the last one first, I'll answer this one first.
How are you going to thrive?
Yeah, so like, what if your audience is looking at us struggle and going through all of this? At the end of it, they're gonna say, so when are they gonna get the one piece? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the one piece? What does prosperity look like? Prosperity for me looks like being able to move wherever I want and build a studio wherever I want and create music wherever I'm at, and make money by doing audio acoustics, by being an acoustician, by mixing, by writing, by producing, by helping people with ideas, and by scoring, and just getting into all kinds of films and stuff like that. Like I was talking to Quay about that idea about the suicidal vampire, and just fleshing out the story, and yeah, just things like that are just very important for me to get out, and stop holding on to the ideas. And yeah, so thriving looks like being able to do all that and being able to use the money that I'm getting from making music, from selling merchandise, from helping other people, from building studios, and whatever else we get into, using all that money into buying land to where we can build a whole compound, where we can grow, where we can treat water, where we can teach, where we can build homes, where we can consistently grow in that space, and move friends and family members and like-minded people out there, and build a community where we're all conscientious of our global footprint, but also conscientious of the fact that we want to use the world and use the land and use the trees, and not cut everything down in order to make our vision, but make our vision around what we see. And yeah, I think that would be a really cool win for us, being able to inspire other people that it's possible, and living in a technologically advanced house that doesn't have to have the footprint of the grid, and being able to help recreate that for other people, and having a really nice studio running off of it, and all that stuff would be really cool. Just figuring all that stuff out to make it possible for certain people to like say, hey, I want to move out in the middle of nowhere, just like him, build a log cabin, put a studio on the side of it. This is how I can keep out the bird noises, don't have to worry about rumbling from 18-wheelers and trucks and cars, so it's like I only need to keep out high frequencies for the most part. Right. So just creating an environment to where you can be happy and live, and that'll just be what I'm known for, like the homesteading uncle kind of thing. And that would be really cool. But being able to make money off of doing all the things that I love, and the stuff Quay loves, and throwing events, and I would really love owning a theater that's close by and getting that started for community projects, for debuting movies, giving speeches, debates, doing grand revealings of inventions, and giving people who really need a place to speak, people like the Shape Center, if they need to do a nice performance, allow them to use the facilities for really nice stuff, and weddings, and balls and galas, things like that, and just give people a really nice place that they can be proud of and share their art, and have an art house right in the middle of the hood. That would be just beautiful, especially if it's a historic place, a historic venue. And yeah, just allowing that to grow, and then moving away from it and letting the community love on it. And yeah, that's thriving for me, and being able to help other people with electricity, with AC, with building their homes, with building a studio, with all of that stuff. Like, people just picking my brain for that stuff and paying me for it, like, hell yeah, that sounds like a win.
It's pretty similar. Thriving to me is literally being able to just wake up every day, getting out all of my ideas, and getting paid for them. I told you and Big Mama the other day, I've told plenty of people that I think my best gig would be if I sat in a room and people in suits would just sit around me, and I just wake up, I walk in there like the dude from Big Lebowski. Just like, this is a cool idea for a movie. This is a cool idea for this. This is cool. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and write the fucking script, but I just gave you a great idea for something, not gonna make it happen. Like, but thriving to me would be able to just live off my art comfortably. Like, and I'm not ashamed to say like comfortably enough to where it's like, nigga, if I want to live in LA for a little bit, if I want to like be in New Orleans,
I want to live more than comfortably because I want to be able to invest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being straight honest. Like, that is thriving to me. Like, you know, getting called to do work on people's albums because I bring a certain element to it.
And imagine, like, you know people that you like, if I have enough money to where I can see an artist that I really like who's a director or something like that and then give him the money for it, like the John Wick franchise with Eva Longoria. Like, she put up $6 million, but
shit paid off for her.
Oh my God, I'm sure she's making money off of each one of the movies subsequently. You know, and she's like, what a great idea on my part. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's great to have that money to invest.
Now they're making like shows. There's like a series coming out, and then there's gonna be like a series based on a different character in there. It's like, damn.
Because they're making a show off of the hotels, right?
Yeah.
The continental.
It's like, goddamn.
You making hella bread. She got to be making at least 5% off of each one of the things.
Probably more than that, right?
Because if you're an angel investor like that, like,
she put up like
be here.
A big part of it, right?
If it wasn't for her, they would not have been able to make the movie at all. It was after they'd already got their budget and they still need an extra $6 million. Or maybe they needed $4 million. She gave them 6 or something.
She gave them
like
6, something like that, bro. But you know, thriving is just like I have like just being able to live off of my ideas, and that's from plays I've just at a low level. I say low level, but I've written plays when I worked for St. Mary's as a teacher. Every Black History play every year that was when they would do all with all the black folk in it. It was something original I wrote. From making the music for it, to the idea for it, to the projects we did with the classes to lead up to it. It was just a whole thing. Like, it was just like, I'm like, man, I could probably do this on a larger scale. But people would come up to me and say that. What kept me from, you know, it's still that, I guess, the imposter syndrome, or thinking. I had motherfuckers walk up to me and say, you need to patent your shit or like copyright these ideas you're doing. Like, this is, I ain't never seen. Or one thing I was about to do.
You have parents that are notaries, and you are dad at least, and you still don't have your shit.
I never forget a motherfucker telling me that, and I was this close to working with Mr. Stevenson to put out a book of plays for Black History plays. He's like, you need to take all them 5 plays you did, write them, and then you could sell them. Like, people could just buy them and do them at their schools. I'll do the sheet music with the music. We'll come up with the songs, and it'd just be like new plays. So you don't always see the same fucking type of play, or like the I am speech, something. I am Malcolm X. Something. I am. You know, Bethune-Cookman. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It's just like I was doing shit like that. The shit I've told you about, like the movie idea I had with the black sci-fi with the women. Think about where we are in society now, and I was talking about that 10 years ago. Like, man, we would kill it if we had a movie about this. You know what I'm saying? I want to get those ideas, so that would be thriving to me.
Yeah, being able to jump into those. Just hold on. The next question is, where are you going?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I guess I don't want to get too deep on here. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going, bro.
I think that's how I feel too.
At times I feel like I get charged, like, and then you like,
yeah,
that ain't finna happen.
Yeah, because my thing is, we know where we want to go, but the things that tell us where we're going are not the things we want to do. So at this point, we're willing to go any motherfucking where. Because I really want to go here. But if this don't work, I'll do any of this stuff and all of that stuff too to make it work. But I really want to do this, and I'll leave all of that for this. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's a real big problem of just like us being in industries that pay the bills but don't help us feel fulfilled.
I guess where I'm going, if I had to, is headed to at least creating art. The last thing I want to do is, if anything, just any idea I have, get it out before I leave this planet.
Yes. Yes.
Because I really feel like if I get it out, maybe it didn't work for me. Somebody's gonna discover it, and they're gonna take the shit and you know what I'm saying. I just want to I want to flush everything that's in me. I don't want to die with all this shit inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really don't know where I'm going. I wish I could tell you that answer.
I feel like where I'm going is to a very sloppy pace in order to get out the ideas. Because I'm no longer worried about perfection, and I'm more so worried about it has to get out, it has to be seen, it has to be used, even if somebody else takes it. Because I think the ideas are that strong. So, like, even some of the little invention ideas that I have, like, why not do that? You know? So, I think a lot of the things I produce are not going to be so polished. They're going to be super raw, super uncut, super live. But they're going to be me really shedding, you know, and showing you the deep cuts of everything, you know. Like, there's really no line at this point. Y'all have seen so many hours of this to where y'all sort of know how we are if you've really watched this.
Yeah.
So we're just being very authentic to who we are, and I think there's going to be a lot more of that. And me saying what I feel, if it's politically incorrect or correct, you know, it's just me saying how I feel, where I'm coming from, my point of view, and allowing that to be what I'm marketing. Because the next thing that we don't have to name them right now, but things we have to really figure out is our core values and how we're going to brand our story. Okay? So just...
I think we definitely have a story.
Yes. But how are we going to brand it is different. You know, like, what are the things we stand for? I stand for high musicianship, originality, extreme creativity, and jaw-dropping facts. You know, like, those are, like, my core values. I want to speak the truth, and I want to say it in a way to where people can hear it and say, this affects my life. And those are my core values. But the other thing is, how am I going to brand my story? I want to brand it as uncut, guerrilla style. You know, this is me, this is who I am kind of thing. I want to sort of break the tradition of what people do, and it may not be what is popular now, but it may be what is popular in 20 years. Because, like, my hairstyles have been, man, I've been rocking these since before it was cool, and I haven't been seeing these, but I swear I'm about to start seeing them in about 5 years.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody gonna be rocking them, and I'm gonna be like,
That's how it is, bro.
y'all niggas be stealing, and it's easy to steal from niggas who aren't on, you know? So, bottom line
That's
is,
a whole word in itself.
I want to make sure that I have receipts, and that's really why this whole YouTube thing is great, because it's a way for both of us to really be convicted to what we're doing, and then to stand on business, because we know, like, even if there's not a lot of people watching, we know that there's an earnestness of us to make sure that we're living up to the hype that we're setting and that we're coming up with. But yeah, so what are your core values and your how are you gonna brand?
My core values are similar. That's why I think we gravitate towards each other. We are able to get along. I really feel like I'm still gonna stay with this, but I'm honest. I'm a very honest person. I think to my own detriment at times.
No, the only people who tell us that shit are people who get fucked over by our honesty. Because if you're a really honest person, it's never to your detriment. If you're talking to other honest people, it's never to your detriment.
I just feel like I'm always okay.
You know what
When
I'm
you
saying?
put it that
like,
way,
when you talk to me and you're honest with me, I never like, shame on you, Joe.
but how many
You
people
know?
are like you?
And that's the problem.
Most people.
But we accommodate the people who are not like us.
Exactly.
And so that's what, like, Kendrick Lamar, they're not like us. Why am I trying to make you happy with me when you're a pedophile? Why am I trying to compete with you when we're in different leagues, bro? We shouldn't be thought of in the same league, and I'm gonna make it clear that we're in different leagues. You know what I'm saying?
Integrity, always showing integrity, highly creative, like you said. Those are my core values. And the last one was, what is it?
How are you gonna brand your story?
Nigga, I feel like all I gotta do is put myself out there and it'll do it. I just don't think I've done that.
How are you gonna do that though? In what way are you gonna show it? You know, like there's a lot of ways you can show it. It could be OnlyFans, you know, like some.
I feel like I need to. I feel like I need. I kind of gave up on trying to go YouTube Live and shit.
Oh really?
Because it's just hard to get so many fucking followers. I have to get 50 followers to go live.
Super hard.
But maybe I just need to pay for 40 more followers. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I think you just need to be consistent. Cause you don't post something every day.
Cause it's just be like, you know.
Why don't you just start posting your breakfast?
Okay.
Post a video of you watching whatever you're watching and you just talking. It could be a 30-second clip of like, damn, y'all, watch this real quick. And then just do a remix on the same shit, screen record, show it. You know? And I say that because anything that we do is cross-pollination at this point. Because people know that we're linked.
Yeah.
So it's like, if my shit take off, nigga, come do a promo video with me. If your shit take off, nigga, can I do a promo video with you?
100%.
You know, so it's like, we're missing every time we're not shooting. And every day we don't shoot a shot, one of us needs to be shooting a shot. If you don't post something or I don't post something, we got a problem. All the shit that we're on, if it's not on Facebook or YouTube or something, nigga, like, even if we just post a clip of some lyrics we wrote, Big Mama was talking about she posted the same thing over and over and over.
And here I am. I was making a reel today, and I just stopped making it. And it was, all it was just video and pictures from Saturday DJing, and then it was gonna be a recap.
We didn't think it was important.
Why didn't I just press send?
Because we didn't think it was good enough. Nigga, I was working on shit today too. I was editing stuff. I was sending stuff, but I hadn't posted nothing. Everybody else was posting shit from the show. I was like, let me wait on it. Let me see.
I'm gonna post something today.
And first thing, I'm coming up with my layout. That's what I'm talking to you about this now. If both of us are steadily thinking of how we're gonna get a good sound, how are we gonna get the good audio, how are we gonna get the good visuals, how are we gonna make this? If both of us are also thinking about that all the time, we're going to help each other by crossing into, oh, did you check out this? Did you copyright this? Did you make sure you did this? Oh, I saw this opportunity in this. Make sure you submit for this. You know what I'm saying? So by both of us saying, hey, this is a top priority, we're actually able to thrive more easily because we're both looking at the same kind of things. You know, it's like, oh, I was looking into this. Did you know that you could do this? You know, okay, well, let me try this because it's an easier way to edit the videos. You know,
I'm hoping through the branding of us and then like whatever it is I do, it literally is never. It's never too late. You know where I'm coming from? I want to be able to inspire someone who's super dope, who thinks it's over, but it's not. You just have to put your shit out there. I want to be that. I want to be the. At this point, I have no choice. If I do it, then I will be it. You know what I'm saying? A nigga coming out this later in age, even though I don't look old. You know what I'm saying? This later in age, because when I tell people my age, they be like, "Whoa!" They thinking I'm like early 30s. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm keeping the 40, nigga.
Right.
So if I could do it, pop off at this age, I'm one of the only few niggas that's done it. I am the exception.
And I feel like you're wrong because there's niggas like Gregory Porter, but I feel like there's a lot of people who break into it at a different level. They're not like Beyonce. They're not like Lil Wayne. They're not like David Banner. You know, but they have like Jason Mraz. You know what I'm saying? They have a lane, you know, and they're making money like 311. You know, it's like y'all are making y'all money, y'all are touring, y'all are living good, but y'all aren't out here like Limp Bizkit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all get Smash Mouth. I'm sure they get shows. You know, Evanescence, Creed. You know, but
Creed is pretty
huge.
fucking huge, though.
Evanescence is huge.
Those are two really big bands.
That's
Like, I don't know about that.
Hold up.
Creed is huge.
Let's say somebody like Lil Troy. You know what I'm saying? Like Slim Thug type shit. You know, any Houston artist, Zero, Scarface. You know, like they're big, but they're not really big. You know, they can go on a tour.
Devin the Dude.
Yeah, and not go to any arenas.
Like if I could be on some Devin the Dude type shit, I won.
Yeah. So, bottom line is, we want to let you guys know, this is sort of like a year beginning thing. So you know how April Fools, they talk about, you know, you're really fools, but this is really when the world starts springing to life. So this is just an update that we're going to allow you guys to keep us honest, and it's also something for us to see so we can keep ourselves honest of what we're heading to. We're setting our true north right now, and we're allowing you guys to see what our true north is as we're setting it, because we're answering these questions for the first time. We're thinking about it for the first time, really, and so it's just helping us get our compass straight for where we're about to embark into, because we're about to get into some crazy territory, creating music, putting it out with a minimum of 3 projects that are about to come out, and whatever else comes through that.
I'm finna get that shit. I'm finna get this shit out. I'm finna get this shit off. I'm sitting on some shit with Flagger. I'm trying to get all.
And that's
that
what I'm
shit
saying,
out.
bro. All of those
All of
need
that
to
shit
be
out.
alternate variants in your universe.
Yeah.
And if you do it like
'Cause
that,
it needs to be a story.
that story would be so intriguing because you have so many projects that are ready right now.
Ready.
At least 2.
I got one with GI too.
So 3. 3
Rodeo on the Loose, Sway Part 2, and then we don't have a name for me and GI did.
And you have to go deep into who these people are
And then
and why they are. Exactly. Different vibes. You know? And then like our music could be just another music in your universe where like you didn't do any of that, you just did Voe. And so it's like you can mention us, and then it turns out there's actually a band called Voe, and this is a band that he's a part of, and blah blah blah.
It's funny you saying this because I have a whole written thing. Because I also have a whole house album that has never been dropped. But at the end of Rodeo on the Loose, it leads to. It's a whole story because I always wanted to do like plays and stories through our music, like how Parliament does, the characters. And at the end of Rodeo on the Loose, initially I had me going to a skit where I take a spaceship to Planet X, and Planet X has a station called Radio X. And Radio X is the universal radio station. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people in the galaxy tune in to listen to this. And I take over that shit like Airheads.
Oh.
And then like, I play all my house music, and I already have, but I've written all the characters. I'll have, a voice like that. And then like, I'll have a real deep voice, and then like have a regular voice, and I take over the station. And play the music I want to play, and then at the end I get captured by the like Galaxy Federation, and the next project is like dealing with all my friends, and it's very impelled down like from one piece, like it's like they didn't lock Joe all the way up at the bottom, so all the songs it's gonna be music I created, but all my friends are featured on it, and it's in the spirit of them busting in like Luffy to get me about that bitch. You feel me?
Yeah, that's cool.
I have all this shit written out, bro. I have so much shit. It's really kind of ridiculous, dog.
Like, cause I mean, what you're saying is like 4 albums, and then we're trying to make 5, 6, 7. Bro,
it's there.
Listen,
it's there.
I'm saying for each month, you should be posting at least 10 pictures. For a good month, you're posting 25. Because you should be playing clips of you practicing. You should be playing clips of us practicing. Like Big Mama was doing that really good.
She's
Even
better than us.
showing pictures of us just at practice. Hey, we're at practice again. And I guess, yes, I'm posting mine, but I'm not even showing it on Instagram. It's just like,
And
nigga, it's none of y'all business.
Because deep down inside, there's something that makes you feel like Instagram is supposed to have a certain quality or a certain type of.
I think the people just don't give a fuck on Instagram. They just want to watch me. And I think that's weird as hell. Because a lot of them just watch, you know. They're not really interested until something pops off. And then they want to be all up in the business, you know. And speaking of that, now is the perfect time to whip out our phones and take a picture of.
Oh, this is what we're doing.
Exactly.
How comfortable do you feel if I take a picture and I'm in your studio and post it?
I'm fine.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Because I know how you feel about it, and I want to respect your space.
I'm cool, just don't post the location. Shit.
No, I would never do that.
I want people to see the studio and be like, hey, where that at? You know? Didn't I just take that picture? I just took a picture.
Now that we've got jobs, things are like supposed to be. And jobs is the liquor.
Oh.
Now that we got jobs, things is the way they supposed to be.
That's crazy.
Oh my God! Whoever wrote that episode, they killed it, bruh. That's the name of the malt liquor. Jobs. Now that we got jobs, things is the way they supposed to be. Oh shit. Selfie or something?
I don't know, bro. We're gonna have to start figuring out what our idea of, you know, our vision is. And I think the best way to do it is just to start posting shit, bro.
Why do I look so stupid? Why can't I take good photos? Now that we've got jobs, things is the way they supposed to be. Bro, I use ChatGPT to do my resumes, bro. My God. Yo, ChatGPT is the shit. Like, you could just be like, here's my resume with anything I've ever done. I want to apply for this job. Make everything that, even if it ain't got nothing to do with that job, how can it be relevant to this job? And they fucking take that shit and word that shit so good, bro. My gosh, I couldn't have thought of that shit on my own, bro. Straight up, man. Ain't no way I could have thought of that shit on my own, the way they came up with how they worded that shit. All right. Yeah.
Who's that for?
Georgette sent me this.
Did she get the last song?
Yeah, let me send you that. I got that.
You no. Kiss Me With Your Lies.
Oh no, not that one. But I do have a cool angle of you. I'm gonna send it anyway. You just need to have it, you know, in case you want to use it.
Blessing me. And here y'all. We're in the studio ASAP.
What do you say?
Mother Nature said, a blessing to meet you and here y'all. We in the studio ASAP.
Damn. She said that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's what's up. Oh, I can't send. I guess I have to. Damn, you don't have fucking iPhone.
What?
Maybe I could just email this to you.
What?
It wouldn't let me.
Just send it to the computer.
It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me clip it.
AirDrop? You want to AirDrop it?
Yeah, I was trying to airdrop.
Yeah, come on, let's AirDrop it in here.
Now that we got jobs, things is the way they supposed to be.
Hey, Joe, you think I should go off? Hey, let's say bye. Joe. Joe. Push the space bar in there and come in here real quick.
Say what?
Push the space bar in there. Stop it and then come in here real quick. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to sign off.
Oh.
So you guys, I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys for watching, for tuning in. Y'all have really inspired us to like step our game up. So thank you for that. And right now we're going to do some film study. Really, like we're like athletes at this point. Like we do it every day. We go for at least what, an hour, more like 2 hours. And on the extreme days, we've gone for 7 hours, but an average is 3 hours. That's an average practice time. And now we're about to go rehearse. We've been live on here for 2 hours. I've already shot one thing. You've already shot one thing. About to go do some research.
She just sent me another video.
Who? Oh, beautiful. So you can send me that.
She sent me another video.
So that's beautiful. We're getting people to send in videos, and we're reposting those, and we're really coming up with a whole layout for you guys, because y'all deserve to have artists who are actually working hard to get you the stuff. So we're listening to it, we're double checking it, we're going to color grade it, we're going to edit the videos a little bit. Quay was like, why are you editing the videos? I'm like, because they could be nicer. So we're going to try to make them nicer for you guys so y'all can really enjoy it, we can enjoy it, and not feel like we're skimping on it. So right now we're going to go do some research and development, some film study, see what we like, what we don't like, see how we can improve, just talk about it. And we're going to keep you guys in the loop. But whenever we go in that room, it's not set up yet for y'all to go with us. So I haven't done that yet, which I could do it easily. Probably just take this one and put it on my wireless. But I like you guys having to wait a little bit. I sort of like that. So we'll see you guys soon. We're about to sign off. Thank you guys for watching. Joe, you got anything to say?
No, thank y'all for watching, and you know, support us. If he's watching this, motivate us, you know. Not that we should have to have, but, you know, support us. I hope you feel like you're a part of this journey with us, you know, because we make it, y'all make it too.
Straight up. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work doing this, and all the support means the world. So if you know somebody who could use it, or if you appreciate this content, please send it on to somebody else. And yeah, thank you guys so much. If y'all see any opportunities that might be good for us, please let us know about it. And love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Sorry for hitting y'all's camera. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a great one.